After taking power in 1949, the Communist Party of China began to crack down on prostitution in China, which continued until the 1960s. Ever since the government loosened its control over society in the 1980s, prostitution has not only become more common, but can also be found in both rural and urban areas of China. Every year, thousands of Russian prostitutes are added to the prostitution ring in China. Prostitution in China is defined and classified by indicators such as location and price. Prostitutes are from different social classes. Most of them are women, but male prostitutes are also seen among them. Places of prostitution include hotels, singing venues, and beauty salons. The government of the People's Republic of China has always been strict on the issue of prostitution and has adopted dual methods in dealing with this phenomenon. Chinese police have a special classification for different types of prostitution. This classification includes 7 categories from top to bottom. Prostitution services are diverse, and customers of prostitutes are also from different social classes. In this video, you will learn about the dark side of women's lives in China, a country that is very famous for its technology and progress but has many problems in this field. China undermines women's feelings and dignity, yet we often see the advanced face of China. Let's take a look at the dark side of women's lives in China. Are you ready? Let's go. First tier, Bao or Nai. The emergence of the Bao or Nai phenomenon can be traced back to the rapid economic growth and social changes in China during the late 20th and early 21st centuries. As China experienced unprecedented economic development, a significant wealth gap emerged, leading to the rise of a new social class of affluent individuals, including government officials, entrepreneurs, and overseas businessmen. The term Bao or Nai refers to women who assume the role of second wives to wealthy and influential men. These men typically hold positions of power in government or business and can afford to maintain multiple relationships. Bao or Nai often come from diverse backgrounds, including university students seeking financial support, single mothers, or women seeking to improve their social status. The practice of Bao or Nai is often considered a form of prostitution due to the transactional nature of the relationships involved. Women actively seek out men who can provide them with financial support, including fixed-term accommodation and regular allowances, in exchange for companionship and sometimes sexual favors. Some women even aspire to transition from being mistresses to becoming legitimate wives, viewing the relationship as a means of upward mobility. The proliferation of Bao or Nai has led to the emergence of illegal online college concubine agencies. These agencies facilitate connections between wealthy men and female university students interested in becoming mistresses. In exchange for a fee, these agencies match men with young women who are willing to enter into these arrangements, further blurring the lines between transactional relationships and traditional notions of courtship and marriage. The phenomenon of Bao or Nai reflects broader societal changes in China, including shifting attitudes towards relationships, marriage, and economic opportunity. While some view Bao or Nai as a means of survival or advancement in a rapidly changing society, others criticize it as exploitation and perpetuation of gender inequalities. The debate surrounding Bao or Nai underscores the complexities of social dynamics and power structures in contemporary China. Second tier, Baopo. The emergence of the Baopo phenomenon reflects the intricate intersections between social status, economic opportunity, and gender dynamics in contemporary China. Baopo refers to women who accompany high-class clients for a fixed duration, such as during business trips, in exchange for a predetermined payment. Unlike Bao or Nai, who may aspire to long-term relationships or marriage with their clients, Baopo engagements are typically short-term and transactional in nature. The prominence of Bao or Nai and Baopo has ignited public debate, particularly due to their explicit connection to government corruption. These practices highlight the blurred lines between personal relationships and the abuse of power, raising concerns about the erosion of moral and ethical standards within society. While specific evidence linking these practices to government corruption may be lacking, the perception persists and fuels public scrutiny and condemnation. Critics argue that Bao Ernai and Baopo represent a manifestation of bourgeois rights, privileging the wealthy and powerful while exploiting vulnerable individuals for personal gain. The All China Women's Federation, alongside women's groups in Hong Kong and Taiwan, has actively campaigned against these forms of concubinage, viewing them as violations of the emotion and economic integrity of the marriage contract. Third tier, santing. The emergence of the santing phenomenon sheds light on the complex dynamics of the sex industry in urban centers like Shenzhen, China. Santing refers to a type of establishment, often disguised as hair salons, where prostitution thrives in Bao'an District, Shenzhen. These brothels operate clandestinely, blending into the urban landscape while engaging in illicit activities behind closed doors. Women working in santing establishments engage in sexual acts with clients across various venues, including karaoke bars, dance clubs, restaurants, and tea houses. They receive financial compensation through tips from individual clients and a share of the profits generated by informal service charges. Known euphemistically as sanpei xiaoji, these women are ostensibly hired to provide companionship through chatting, drinking, and dancing with clients. However, the reality often involves far more intimate and exploitative interactions. Clients frequently grope and fondle the woman, crossing boundaries of consent and respect. The progression from intimacy touching to sexual intercourse underscores the vulnerability of these women and the power dynamics inherent in such transactions. Many enter into these arrangements out of economic necessity, facing limited employment opportunities and societal stigmatization. The prevalence of santing establishments reflects broader social and economic challenges, including gender inequality, poverty, and the commodification of intimacy. Efforts to address these issues often face resistance, as entrenched power structures and cultural attitudes perpetuate the exploitation of marginalized individuals. As communities grapple with the realities of the sex industry, there is a growing recognition of the need for comprehensive solutions that address the root causes of exploitation and provide support for those affected. Education, advocacy, and legal reforms are crucial steps toward creating a more just and equitable society where all individuals can live with dignity and respect. Fourth tier, doorbell girls. The emergence of doorbell girls represents a distinctive aspect of the sex industry, particularly in urban areas where hotels serve as hubs for illicit activities. Doorbell girls are women who actively solicit potential buyers of sex by calling rooms within a specific hotel. Their role is to entice clients into engaging in commercial sexual transactions, often facilitating arrangements between clients and sex workers operating within or around the hotel premises. The term doorbell girls underscores the clandestine and opportunistic nature of their work. By targeting guests staying in hotels, these women leverage the anonymity and privacy afforded by such establishments to conduct their business discreetly. The phenomenon of doorbell girls highlights the intersection of technology, entrepreneurship, and the sex trade. With the proliferation of mobile phones and telecommunications networks, these women can efficiently reach a wide range of potential clients, maximizing their opportunities for financial gain. Ultimately, the phenomenon of doorbell girls serves as a poignant reminder of the complex interplay between social dynamics, economic pressures, and the pursuit of survival and opportunity in an ever-changing world. Fifth tier, Falang Mai. The emergence of Falang Mai, also known as hairdressing salon sisters, illuminates the complex and clandestine nature of the commercial sex industry, particularly within the context of massage and beauty establishments. Falang Mai are women who operate in venues ostensibly offering massage, health, and beauty treatments, but in reality provide commercial sexual services. These establishments include health and fitness centers, beauty parlors, barbershops, bathhouses, and saunas. While advertised as legitimate businesses, these venues often serve as fronts for illicit activities. The term Falang Mai emphasizes the deceptive nature of their work, as they portray themselves as employees providing innocent services like hairdressing or massage. while simultaneously engaging in sexual acts for financial gain. Clients frequenting these establishments may expect traditional services, but are often presented with opportunities for sexual encounters, such as masturbation or oral sex. Sixth tier. Street girls. The presence of street girls represents a significant aspect of the commercial sex industry, characterized by the solicitation of male buyers of sex in public spaces. Street girls typically operate in urban areas, where they actively seek out potential clients by lingering on street corners, in red light districts, or other areas known for solicitation. Their presence is often marked by the solicitation of passers-by through verbal or nonverbal cues, signaling their availability for commercial sexual transactions. Street girls often face numerous challenges and risks associated with their work, including exposure to violence, exploitation, and legal repercussions. They operate in environments characterized by uncertainty and vulnerability, where their safety and well-being are constantly at risk. By recognizing the agency and autonomy of street girls and providing avenues for support and empowerment, societies can work towards creating safer and more inclusive communities where all individuals have the opportunity to live with dignity and respect. Seventh tier. Down the work shack. The phenomenon of the down the work shack tier represents a distinct segment within China's commercial sex industry, characterized by the sale of sex to transient male laborers from rural areas. In many parts of China, especially in regions experiencing rapid urbanization and industrialization, there exists a significant influx of male migrant workers from rural countryside areas. These workers often migrate to urban centers in search of employment opportunities in factories, construction sites, and other labor-intensive industries. The down the work shack tier refers to a form of sex work where women, typically from marginalized backgrounds, engage in commercial sexual transactions with these transient male laborers. The term work shack reflects the temporary and often rudimentary living conditions endured by these laborers, who may reside in makeshift accommodations near their workplaces. Women operating within this tier typically exchange sex for necessities, such as small sums of money, food, and shelter. The transactions are characterized by a straightforward exchange of sexual services for material recompense, devoid of the complexities associated with higher tiers of the commercial sex industry. For many women engaged in sex work within this tier, the decision to sell sex is often driven by economic necessity and the need to support themselves or their families. They may lack viable employment alternatives and face systemic barriers to economic empowerment, including limited access to education and social support networks.